2, 1. Welcome to the last of the Cinema for the Culture online edition for this year. Whew, what a year 2020 has been. This has been a year. We were doing this physically in a venue, but we had to switch it to online. So my name is Mojisola Shinoiki. I'm the founder and executive director of the African Film and Art Foundation, producers of Cinema for the Culture. Today, we're pleased to have with us some of the cast and crew from the documentary Out of Nigeria. We have biker and executive producer, Toyin Adebola. We have director, DP and editor, Raph Goldberg. And we also have producer, Raha Danesh-Kazemi. I hope I pronounced that right.
Fine.
Everybody. Our special guest and moderator this evening is Shandra McDonald. She's an associate film professor at Clayton State University here in Georgia, and she'll be joining us shortly. Excuse me. The African Film and Arts Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit media arts organization. Our mission is to create a platform to promote, showcase, and support content that depicts Africa and its diaspora family in all its brilliance. We aim to be at the center of networking between African and American and global content creators, buyers, and distributors. One of our main goals also is to engage the younger generation of continental and diaspora Africans in discussions around film production and content creation, as they are the future storytellers. With that being said, we have one of our interns, Olivia Abbey, helping us behind the scenes. Hi, Olivia. And as we speak, Chandra just joined, so I'm going to let her in. Hey, Chandra. Perfect.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Chandra.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, she's got her professor glasses on.
Oh, yes, all the time. And listen, I wore a little bit of motorcycle leather for the folks.
Like you more now.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That is actually perfect. So I'm just going to take some pictures. Oh,
okay.
I have to show my Nigerian shirt. I keep forgetting. I have to show my Nigerian shirt. I have to show it off. Nigeria. Okay, take some pictures. Okay. All right. So actually, you came in perfect time.
Okay.
I was just talking about the foundation.
Okay.
So I've introduced everybody. So the next thing we're going to do, and we do this at all our screenings, is that we show the trailer. And after I show the trailer, I will hand you over to Chandra, who's our moderator for the evening, who will ask you the questions. And then at the end, we will take questions from the audience. This is going to be recorded, so anyone that misses it will be able to actually see it on our YouTube channel. So I will play the trailer. Excuse me, I have to share my screen. Where's the trailer? There it is. Okay, so I'm sharing my screen. Here it goes. I love to see everyone's reaction while they're watching this. Vroom!
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay, let me hold on. Stop sharing my screen. Okay, so I am going to disappear for a minute and then come in towards the end, and I'll hand you over to Shandra.
Yes. Hello, everyone.
Hi, Sandra.
Hi. It's such a pleasure to be here. Listen, I'm very excited. Okay, so I think I might have to take up motorcycle biking, all the things you all were doing after this. I was inspired.
Great, that was the whole point of the film.
Yes. I mean, across so many things. So let's just get to it. So much to talk about, definitely. So let's just go back to the beginning. Let's talk about what was the inspiration, where the project came from, how did it come about?
Well, that really should be a question for Toyin, but it looks like we may have temporarily lost him. So I guess
okay.
while we wait for Toyin to come back, I can field that question.
Sure.
So the Toyin was really the driving force behind the whole project. It was his vision, it was his baby. It'd be something that he'd been dreaming up for many years, and he'd always been interested in motorbiking and adventure travel. But the problem is that a lot of adventure overland motorbike journeys, the famous ones that have happened in the past, have mostly been done by white Europeans, white Americans, and there've been very few black faces and Africans who've taken on this kind of adventure. And Toyin, who loved motorbiking and had always wanted to do a trip like this, thought what better way to combine his passions and to inspire people than to do a trip himself and try and spread the word as widely as possible to everyone that this is something that anyone can do, and to try and encourage fellow Africans to take up the mantle and do some adventure travel. So that was the inspiration, I believe. I'm sure he'll tell you more when he rejoins us, but that was the whole ethos behind the inspiration for the trip.
Yes, and how did you meet? What attracted you to the project?
Well, so I'm a filmmaker, born and bred in London, and I've always been motorbiking as well. So they were two of my passions, and I'm actually friends with a friend. We had a common friend, basically, who'd done a lot of adventure motorbiking and had a documentary on the Discovery Channel many years ago, documenting one of his around the world trips. So Toyin got in touch with him and asked if he knew anyone who might be interested in making a film of the project. And that's how we got in touch, and we met, discussed it. Initially I just thought it was a crazy idea and didn't quite believe that it would happen. And then, Toyin's sheer determination and force of personality, he pulled it off. And so it was, incredible experience.
Yes. Well, talk more about just the challenge itself. I mean, when you say motorbiking across Africa, I mentioned a fellow filmmaker friends of mine, and they all were thinking, "Wow, that's amazing." I said, "Wait till you see the documentary." There he is. Hey, Toyin, he's back.
Toyin, I've been speaking on your behalf.
Yes, he's been doing a good job.
Yeah.
Good job. Yeah.
I don't know what's happening with the connection. It's just a little annoying.
Yes, this is the land we're in right now, correct? Yes, it's where we are. But going back to the ethos, as you were saying, of the story, and just the idea of traveling across Africa. I mean, there's so many wonderful things that we're going to talk about in terms of the days and things that happened within the journey. But just Toyin, perfect time for you to. Is he frozen? Is he frozen? Okay, I'm not sure.
No, I'm right here.
He's right there. Perfect. So the idea
you.
that's perfect. So the idea of motorbiking across Africa, please help everyone understand the challenge, joy, wonder, and beauty of that.
I think it's not for everyone. I mean, you have to be a little crazy to do what we do. Just thinking about the amount of time we spend between one country and the next, when people say ECOWAS. I mean, I don't know if it's still called that, Economic Community of West Africa. We're supposed to have like a common bond, something that makes it possible for us to travel with ease, do trade with ease. But the last thing you experience is ease. you know, so I'm sure Raph would bear me witness that it's like a nightmare crossing borders in Africa. But I think it's if it wasn't that insane, it wouldn't appeal to us. It probably, if it was simple and just get on your motorbike and cross from country to country, if there was no challenge, if there was no difficulty, I don't think it'll appeal to us. You know, so it's a dream that I've had since when I was a child, you know, because my dad had a bookstore. So he collected National Geographic magazines, and they had all these very captivating images of the world, you know, like amazing places where you see the snow-capped pictures of the snow-capped mountains, pictures of Canada and the wildlife, pictures of Africa and the savannah and stuff like that. So I grew up like from 10 years old, 12 years old, watching these images, and they were frozen in my head, seeing them, you know, like I wanted to experience how. And I knew that over time, as I grew up, I knew flying from one location to the other robbed you of all of this beauty. I mean, you can land in one area and then you experience that area, but what happens in between? So you fly from here to London, it's 6 hours and thousands of miles, but you just leave one environment with a particular peculiarity. You land in another environment with another peculiarity, and that's it. So you can explore the end location, but what happens? What about all the beauty in between?
Yes.
And as I went, you know, at a particular point in time, my family was in the UK.
Oh, okay. We'll wait for him to come back. All right. So Raph, why don't you, we'll wait for Toyin to come back. Why don't you talk a little bit about the challenges? And I have a question. I mean, listen, I'm a filmmaker as well. I was extremely impressed with the packing. I mean, I kept looking at the motorcycles in the different compartments on the side, and I said, how are they going to do all this?
Yeah, that was one of the challenges, was trying to fit all the kit into, you've got to travel light, you've got to, and
Yes.
you know, this is kit that you're going to be packing, unpacking every single day. And, you know, also as a filmmaker, you want your equipment to be handy. You want it to be readily available so that at any moment, if something happens, you can grab the camera and you can capture it all. So as the trip went on, I got a lot better at packing the equipment. But yeah, that was.
And
one
oh
of
my
the
goodness,
challenges.
you know, and just start us off. I mean, I was keeping track of the days, day 1, day 13. This day was harder than other days. Just start us off with the beginning and some of the challenges, as Toyin was saying, that you experienced, the ones that stood out.
Well, yeah, I mean, I must say I was a little naive coming from the UK with a British passport. Lots of my friends, and I've been involved in overland travel myself, and I knew that it was a difficult undertaking. But yeah, I had no idea of the additional challenges that we would face with Toyin and Fodeks having Nigerian passports. So, you know, before we'd even set off, the original plan for the trip was literally an around the world trip. And Toyin and Fodeks applied for visas to do a properly around the world trip across Russia and America, and we soon realized that it just wouldn't be possible, that Toyin and Fodeks with Nigerian passports would not be able to get all the visas required to do the original scope of the project. So Raha can talk a little bit. Raha was instrumental in you know, it was literally in the weeks running up to the trip, we completely came up with a brand new route, and you know, Raha came up with a lot of that. You know,
oh yeah, I saw her planning and making it all happen. So please share with us.
No, it's interesting because the trailer that you shot, obviously that was the plan. But sort of the week before, 2 weeks before we set off, we arrived in Nigeria and realized that that was no longer going to be possible. I think I was rather shocked about the process involved in obtaining a Russian visa for Nigerians was just
actually impossible almost.
And so that's when we suddenly realized that this around the world trip that we had created, and we'd done quite a lot of research and set up, you know, I've done quite a lot of work with my team to kind of set up places and things that they were going to do in Poland and all sorts of places, going to be really exciting. And so it was a bit of a blow, the idea, and you know, that in a way could have formed part of the documentary, but at that stage we were very much just kind of get out, you know, we need to get out, because what they did have was a Schengen visa, which is the visa for Europe. And that was really very much the formed the beginning and the end of you know, the time that we had. So it was all about sort of making sure that we were in Europe for the duration of that visa. But yeah, so when we got to Nigeria, it was suddenly we couldn't do that trip, so we had to really formulate a new plan. And that's when the fire to ice idea sort of came about. Which was, the guys will just ride from Nigeria up to beyond an Arctic Circle and end up there. And, you know, it was a blow, but, you know, the trip had to happen. It already had momentum, you know, we were there, everything was set up, the bikes were ready, the European visa was there, the other visas were there, you know, some of the other ones were in place. And so we had to, we just had, it was very much kind of, you know, do what you can. And make it move.
And Raha, you did. I saw all the producing that was happening beforehand, and I saw in Nigeria all the adjustments. And I'm a producer. We know how that is. It breaks your heart, but that visa is still going, and you guys just made it happen. It was beautiful. Toyin, talk a little bit about how you felt when you knew things had to change in Nigeria.
To tell you the truth, I was very disappointed. I was hit in the gut, like really, really hard. And I think the gravity of what we deal with, you know, being Nigerians, hit me when we tried to get the Russian visa. It was when I saw the requirements, I said to myself, there's no way on earth we're going to get this done in enough time. You know, there was just no way. It was really heartbreaking, but I just said to myself, look, we'll do the best we can. And I think just like Raha said, we all had to have this attitude of positivity throughout. Like, okay, look, it's not going to happen the way you wanted it to happen. It's not going to happen exactly how you've seen other people do it, because I don't know how many countries you can enter with a British passport where you get visa on arrival, but probably over 100. Whereas in Nigeria, with a Nigerian passport, we can go to just maybe about 44 countries that are all scattered all over the place, not even dotted together properly. So it's difficult traveling on a Nigerian passport. And I understand the peculiarities. I understand the whole socio-economic challenges that are behind being Nigerian today. But it was painful. I mean, but we just had to say, look, let's draw up a new plan and let's get it done. And Raha was basically heaven sent, because I mean, she basically held us by the hand from the moment we rode out from Lagos till the end of the adventure. She was hand holding us, you know, and she did a fantastic producing.
Yes, making it happen.
Thank you very much, Toyin.
Yeah, definitely. The European visa, that clock was ticking on its own. And so, Toyin, I appreciate you talking about just the perceptions and just the experience of Nigerians throughout Africa, because I think sometimes people, they get confused about how it is in different parts, okay? And how, you know, and I think, you know, could you say any more about that? Just take us back to that time when specifically you guys saw that, you felt that, and just, you know, help us understand some more about where that comes from, and just a little bit of the history of, or what do you think that's about? Because I think there's an educational opportunity here as well, as we think about moving forward, and how that impacted you so much.
I think it's all about perception. I think responsibility. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes, I can hear you.
I hear the most.
Okay. Uh-oh. Oh boy. Oh, connections. All right.
It's a shame, because that's a really interesting.
I was going to actually say something about this point in terms, just a small thing of what I heard about trying to get the Russian visa for the Nigerians. Toyin was saying that they had to go into the police to get some part. It was, you know, you need this document to get that document, and you need to go to this place to get that thing. And a lot of the places that they had to go, like you know, you did not want to go there. You didn't want to have anything to do with them. It was sort of like militia place.
Quite intimidating.
Very intimidating. And, you know, people don't want to go there to do anything, you know, and so, you know, there's that sort of startled me.
But and on your point about the different perceptions, you know, within Africa of Nigerians, you know, coming from the UK, this was another real eye-opening moment for me, because I feel like in the UK and certainly in Europe, and I would imagine it's the same in the States as well, that we perceive Africa almost as one country. And what we don't appreciate is the huge differences between the countries and the different ways that each country perceives each other and the different nationalities there. So yeah, traveling with Toyin and Fodeks as Nigerians, it was really interesting for me to see, you know, how they were treated and how other Nigerians are treated in different countries, even neighboring countries. I think Nigeria's got a really bad reputation, you know, for lots of reasons, and it's really sad. You know, we met one guy actually in Senegal who's a Nigerian guy, and he was telling us a lot. He's in the film as well. He's a radio producer. He was telling us about his experiences. You know, he'd been in Senegal 20 odd years, and he'd had a really, really tough time just simply because of the fact that he was Nigerian, and that there's a lot of prejudices. Toyin's back now. Hopefully he might be able to jump in here.
Yes. Definitely.
Yeah. You can hear, all right?
One more time, Toyin.
Okay, I said you can hear me. Can you hear me?
We can.
Yes.
All right, cool. So basically, I feel that we basically should take responsibility for how Nigerians are perceived. I think Nigerian leaders should take responsibility for how Nigerians are seen abroad. Full responsibility for it, because everything that happens in this country rises and falls on how its leadership has behaved over years, many, many years. And that is spilling over into how the citizens behave. Because if the leaders invested in the country itself and not their own political or personal goals, we will be in a better place. Nigerians are by nature, very driven people. We're very ambitious people. And if not everybody is able to stay on the straight and narrow when things are the way that they are with the country, you know, where, you know, you go into politics and you become very wealthy by just being a politician for sometimes doing nothing. But there's no reward for hard work. I mean, some of us are able to get this reward for hard work, but not everybody has that patience. And I think if the system had a system of equity where it doesn't really matter who your parents are, it doesn't matter your political affiliations, it doesn't matter where you're coming from, anybody who works hard is able to get reward for their hard work, I think the country will be better. I mean, people won't be running around, and then you won't have people trying to do all these terrible things to just get by.
Yeah.
So that being said, I'm not excusing the fact that, you know, somebody should do wrong, sending all these fraudulent emails and stuff around, but people want to live a healthy, decent life, you know, and because they're driven and they're very ambitious, when something doesn't give them when being positive doesn't give them that opportunity, not everybody has this willpower or the moral power or the moral compass that guides them to say, you know what, stick with the straight and narrow. And then we're almost 200 million people that are driven and, you know, with a lot of testosterone that way. So you can imagine why it's so easy sometimes for people to fall into the wrong and then create all these impressions where that's mostly what's in the news. So I feel we should take responsibility for how we're seen around the world.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, one thing that was just undeniable was the perseverance, you know, just in the midst of the frustration and anger and disappointment that you had, you guys kept it going. And talk a little bit about that too. The trip went from how many days to this many days? It changed, right? But it was still amazing. Yeah. And so just the team, I mean, how big was your team? You know, there was people in the field, there was people behind the scenes. Like,
it was pretty small. It was pretty small, to be honest.
We had a team of, well, in the sort of HQ back in London, there was me and a couple of others.
Yes.
And then on the ground was just the three guys.
Just the three of us. A lot of the bigger, overland motorbike adventures, they have support vehicles, vans with equipment following the motorbike riders, but not on our trip. It was quite bare bones and stripped back, and but that added, I think, to the authenticity. We didn't have all this backup, so when we hit problems along the way, which we did, bigger than we were anticipating, we just had to deal with it. And we had Raha and a team of support in London, and we had a small Nigerian support team who did what they could for us, but it was us on the ground really figuring it out.
Yeah, and so there's so many things that we can cover from here, because again, the physical challenge. I mean, do people really understand how hard it is to physically ride, to travel in a motorbike, in that way across that many hours? I mean, I loved the scenery. The scenery was wonderful, but I kept thinking, oh my gosh, they're still going and it's getting darker in the rain.
Well, Toyin's a machine. Like, don't ask him. He can just keep going for hours. But I was in pain.
I noticed that. I noticed somebody was always ahead. Was that you?
No, I was at the back, lagging behind.
That was him, right? I was like, oh, is that going so far? Yes, and then the simulation of the rain. When did it get really bad? When the rain was so bad that you guys had to
that was in Germany. Toyin, do you remember when we were racing?
I will never forget that day, right? I mean, Raph, that was unbelievable. We had just 48 hours left on our visa, and if we missed the ferry, that ferry crossing into Copenhagen, that was it. And Raha was like, guys, you can't miss this ferry. We had a ferry to catch and a train to catch to Kiruna, and if any of those slipped, that was it. That was it.
Yes.
I mean, Raph, I will never forget when in Germany we stopped. I mean, we were riding. I think we were riding for like 11 or 12 or 13 hours. I can't remember.
Yeah, at least.
It was humanly possible.
It was crazy.
I think I got a phone call at 2 o'clock in the morning or something with Raph completely devastated, saying that they missed that first ferry or some crossing or whatever to get off that island. And that they weren't going to make it, and totally devastated. And I was like, right. I was like, okay. And I went on the computer and I found, and it was definite that they were not going to make it to the Arctic Circle on their motorbikes. But there was a crossing the next day and they'd have to park their motorbikes. And I was like looking up car parks in Copenhagen, and so it was like this, the only way out was if they caught this train. And it was a bit of a blow because the guys wanted to get there on their motorbikes, and that was kind of the plan and everything. But then it really got to the point of like, just finish it, let's get there.
There was no other option.
So yes, that was a hard few hours in the morning. But then moment. Telling them, this is what you've got to do now. Get into this car park. This is the address. Park the cars. Get on this platform. Get on that train. And they did it.
It's a miracle. But then, in a way, it made when we were on that train and we knew we were going to make it to the ice hotel, to the final destination. Just the feeling of elation that we all felt, because we literally a few hours before felt like it was game over, and we'd failed, and all this effort that we put in was for nothing in a way. Because you want to reach the goal. That's what you're riding towards. And so it was a good moment when Raha worked out how we could make it.
You did, Raha. You made it work. It was amazing. And how about that water simulation? That was something. I said, oh my God, with the shower head.
Yeah. Bit of creative filmmaking on my part. That was.
What happened to your camera? Your camera, it just died on you.
These long trips, the rain and the cold, and it was a constant challenge keeping the equipment going. And there were a lot of great moments that unfortunately were not captured, and so I had to find other ways of conveying what happened, I guess.
Yes. So listen, I know that it was because of the spirit, perseverance, and Toyin, and just the collective energy of everyone to get there. But I do have a question, okay? Because I'm a little jealous, and I just want to know so I can go and get a Tourtech jacket and all the other goodies. Please share with us, because it seems like, Toyin, you were in just dreamland. All of you guys were, right? There were so many goodies there. Yeah.
Toyin was in heaven. Like, I've never seen him. It was like a child in a toy store. Like, it was hilarious.
Yes.
Yeah,
And what
well,
an amazing company. Yes. What amazing company. Talk about
yeah,
that.
but you remember, Raph, if you remember, we were almost dead before we got to Tourtech. I mean, the cold was killing us. I mean, you know, we landed in France, and it was 5 degrees, and we were in Senegal, and it was in the 40s. And then we rode out in the evening from France towards Germany. And honestly, honestly, for the first few hours, I thought I was going to die. I mean, I'm not kidding. I said to myself, like, you've been adventurous, but I mean, this time around, you took it too far.
Yeah.
Honestly, my teeth were clattering till we got to Tourtech. So those jackets they gave us and the hand warmers and everything were life-saving. You know, I was like a child in a toy store, you know, just looking at all those. I'd never been in such a shop, a motorbike shop that big.
Yes.
But just knowing that we're going to leave that place warm, I thought I was going to die.
Yes. Yes. I mean, definitely. And I love what the owner of the company was saying about Tourtech and its mission and history, and just the way that he connected with you across, you know, his having been to Africa, right? Yeah, been in Africa, and just the evolution of wanting more Africans to travel to Germany and all across Europe, and just the connections there. I mean, it was a beautiful, beautiful moment.
That's what actually we found, you know, all the way through our trip was, you know, everyone we met, we were speaking to about the missions and trying to promote adventure motorcycling within Africa. And what we found was that everyone was so receptive to this message, you know, within Africa, but also within Europe and all over. You know, people were really excited about this project. And, you know, Raha did a lot of, you know, PR work and, you know, speaking to the media, and you found.
Well, frankly,
similar...
it sort of spoke for itself. I mean, the uptake from the European countries that wanted to sort of celebrate this and grab it and turn it into a massive story was just phenomenal. And you know, it was, you know, it was sad on my part not to have been able to kind of really realize the full scope of that, because we had some pretty incredible stuff planned, but you know, we were just so short of time that it was just cherry picking, you know, a few things that we might have time to go and do, and just, you know, get to the Arctic Circle. So but yeah, I think in Europe the agenda was picked up and ran with, and you know, Tourtech found us and was following our journey, and and so they approached us and they wanted the guys to come and open up part of their, you know, celebrate with them on one of their sort of annual
company parties.
Yeah.
They wanted Toyin and Fodeks to be the star guests at their big company yearly bash.
Were you surprised? You seemed very surprised.
Well, it was brilliant. We were very thankful, and it was just the fact that Europe was picking this up so much. They really wanted to kind of run with it and do more, and it would have been really fantastic. Anyway, there's still scope, Toyin. Yeah.
Yes, but definitely. Was it Herbert Swatis from Tourtech? Was that the gentleman?
Yeah, he's the main man. He's the big boss.
Yes. Yes, wonderful, wonderful. And then some of the Italian, was a television station that you guys actually had an opportunity. Yeah, how was that, Toyin? How was that? Oh, okay.
I think it was. This internet connection is amazing.
We can hear you. You're
we
fine.
Can hear you. We can hear you.
Oh, all right, cool. I mean, it was. For me, it was a dream come true. You know, I mean, it's sometimes I like the words to describe the experience, because just thinking that we were able to ride on our bikes and we were in Italy, and one minute we're in Africa, and then the next few hours we're in Europe, or whatever. I mean, it's mind blowing. I see it. You know, it's almost, it's difficult to, to find the right words, because when I was watching The Way Down and Long Way, all I wanted to do was ride around the world like this guy did. And say that it happened, and Raph was there filming and Raha was coordinating. It was mind blowing. It was mind blowing for me. It was just being in Italy, and growing up, all I ever wanted to do was wear Italian shoes, and here was I in Italy,
Yes. And hey, listen, you guys hit on all the points. I mean, sure, we would we could have seen some other parts of Europe and et cetera, but man, we saw so much within what you actually captured and actually, put forth in the documentary. So tell me, how many total days were you all in Europe?
It was 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think we had 15 days on Toyin and Fodek's visa. But unfortunately, even that small amount of time, we couldn't really take advantage of those full 15 days because of the issues we had trying to get our bikes out of French customs, which was really challenge to our sanity.
But you made it.
We were waiting for 9 days to get those bikes. 9 out of 15 days we were waiting to get the bikes.
Oh, yeah. And you were so sad without your bike, Tobin. Those
I don't
times
think I've
you didn't have your bike, you were sad.
I don't think I've been more upset than that in my entire life. Honestly, until today, I don't think I've been more upset. Seriously.
Yes,
it
definitely.
It was what was difficult about that is we just felt powerless, and no one appreciated the importance of what we're doing and the limited time that we had, and we were arguing with French customs officials and for days, and it was painful.
Well, it
but
all
then
came across in a very, very compelling story. Very.
And then it just made those few days that we had, whatever it was, 10 or less days that we had actually riding around, it made them all the more special. And it really was a trip of contrast, because the incredible lows and challenges that we experienced were balanced out by this amazing warmth of the welcome and the people that we met along the route. It was really overwhelming, the hospitality and the support that we were receiving from people. So it was really this amazing contrast, the highs and the lows. It was a roller coaster. It really was.
Yes. And let's go to the climax of it all, the destination, the hotel that they have. Tell everyone about the hotel that they build how does that even happen? They build this hotel, the Arctic Hotel, every year, and from the coldness, and you all made it through the night. I was like, but I said, Tobin, put on a hat. Where's your hat, Tobin? Everyone else had on a hat. But tell us about that. I mean, wow, that place was amazing. It was just gorgeous. Was it as beautiful in person as it came across in the film?
Honestly, it was indescribable. I mean, I'm happy that Raha convinced us to actually spend the night in the ice hotel itself.
Yes.
Rather than maybe the other brick and mortar ones, because this was just iconic. I mean, this whole hotel, including the chandeliers, were built from ice. Everything was built from ice, and we had to sleep in these sleeping bags, and they had to show us how to keep warm in the bags. But I think the most memorable event for me was when we were on the jet skis.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yeah.
When we were in those jet skis and went somewhere in the woods to have dinner, believe me, all I could think about was wolves eating us for dinner. That was all I could think about. And we were riding, but my mind wasn't in that journey until we got indoors, and then we came back. All I could imagine was wolves, like with dinner. That was it.
Yes, that's all you could think about. Wow, wow.
It was a really fitting end to the trip because it was such a special and unique and crazy place that it just made a really good end to the trip, and it just, you know, we felt amazing reaching that destination.
Definitely,
Absolutely.
definitely. Yes, it was wonderful. Well, tell us some more about distribution. Tell us some more about, can we ask about budget and just how long it took you guys to raise the money, things that you can share and can't share. Please share more of that with us because we're excited to know where more people can see the film. Mhm.
It's more Toyin's department. Do you wanna pick up on this, Big
No,
T?
happy for you. You take the lead. Take the lead, Raph, and then I'll contribute.
Okay, well, it was a kind of, it was more of a scattergun approach. We wanted as many people to see the film as possible. You know, the important thing for Toyin was to get the message out to as many people as we could. So I believe it went out on TV in Nigeria. It went out on lots of social media platforms.
I think in the end, didn't you broke up the film into bite-sized pieces and had it on YouTube in sections? So I think
great.
that's
Yeah.
what ended up going out.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then it also went into did the film festival circuit as well. And so, yeah, I mean, in the end, yeah, it was really just about getting the message out there. And I think, yeah, Toyin can talk about all the feedback. I think there was quite a lot of support that came back as a result.
Yes, yes, yes. Tell us about the feedback and tell us about what some perceptions have been in Nollywood as well. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we submitted the film. Mojisola was very helpful with this. I think it was just different to see Africans do what we did. And it was very, very well received. And I was really humbled by the reception that we got, especially when in 2016, just a year after we did that, I hooked up with a friend of mine in the United States, Brad Barker, and he just said, Tony, I've never seen any black guy do what you just did in this movie with these guys. I mean, you and these guys were just amazing. So I flew to the United States and we did the round with him in 2016. And it was shown across a few festival screenings. And even in Nigeria, I mean, it's basically, people were talking about it for weeks. The fact that these crazy Nigerians and this British crazy filmmaker were riding bikes across Africa and in Europe. And I think the beautiful thing about it was that before we did that ride, there was another friend of mine that had actually rode to Europe on his bike. But what was different was we actually filmed ours. I think he didn't do that. He went on, so he did basically selfies and stuff like that. But I wanted a little bit more. I wanted it to be something that people would take seriously. And I knew somebody with the caliber of Ralph's experience had to make that happen. So the reception was amazing. I mean, and was very, very humbling. And it has led us to having this conversation with you now. So I'm grateful for that.
Yes, yes, yes. And so, Raph, you're a writer, a director, and editor as well? I saw that you edited the film as well. Is that correct?
Yes, actually, my day job is a TV editor, so that's what I spend my days doing now. But yeah, historically, I've done, yeah, the filming has been a big part of my life. That's really how I started getting into filmmaking, was behind the camera. So yeah, I mean, this was a great opportunity, and because it was, you know, the nature of the trip, it really, you know, lended itself to someone, you know, who could kind of muck in on all aspects of filmmaking. So yeah, I guess I'm a bit of a control freak. I like doing all elements of filmmaking.
You have to be a little controlling to do what we do, okay? It's a requirement.
Yeah, but it was a challenge, but it was incredible. Absolutely.
Yes. Do you want to share anything about the fundraising process, the budgeting process? I know how it is with filmmakers. We don't like to tell exactly how much it costs sometimes, but I think for those who are interested in making a film similar to this, is there anything you want to say?
Let's just say it was a small budget, and we just made it work. You know, we did what we could. Toyin, as executive producer, you know, was in charge of the budgeting, but it was a micro budget, and it was, yeah. I think, Toyin, is there anything you want to add?
I mean, you couldn't tell it was a micro budget, so congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I'm not the kind of person who has like a huge network of companies back in Nigeria that say, "Oh, we'll support you with this." And then this was kind of new. This was new to companies here or to people. So basically, it was me and family and friends that put that money together. Because it was just difficult to get funding. I mean, it was very difficult to get funding. And people were like, you want to what? You want to ride your bike to where? And then to do what? Okay, so, okay, whatever. So we tried talking to a few companies. We made several pitches. It wasn't happening. And I didn't want the disappointment that we didn't do it because we didn't get funding. So one way or another, we had to put the funding together. And most important thing is we got it done.
Yes, you did.
I think that really was a testament to Toyin's passion and his perseverance and his drive to see it through. That regardless, he was gonna make sure it happened, and he did.
Yes, wonderful, wonderful. Well, I think we covered, and Moji's back, so we'll get. Do we have some more time for a few more questions, Moji? Can I keep going? I'm just
right. I have a few from the audience, but you can keep going.
Oh, wonderful.
As long as they're okay. I know it's late for them. I saw him yawning. He couldn't help himself.
I know, yeah, definitely. Well, again, let's just make sure everyone knows where they can see the film. No, I know you mentioned, is it on YouTube right now? And is it still touring film festivals? Please let us know so we can share this amazing film, adventure film, with everyone.
Yeah, we took it down from YouTube for a while, but we're putting it back up next week. So it's free for everyone to view from next week.
Great.
And also we're screening it. So you can go to our website, AfricanFilmArtsFoundation.org, and we're screening it until tomorrow, Sunday, 6 p.m. EST, which is 11 p.m. Nigerian and British time. That's another option.
Okay. Brilliant. Awesome. Well, this has been great, guys. Again, congratulations on a wonderful, wonderful project.
Thank you, Shandra.
Thanks so much for having us.
Well, I have some questions. So 3 questions from the audience. So one of them is your thoughts on Nollywood and the current stories being told in Nollywood, Nigerian film industry. Does anybody have thoughts on that? And the future of Nollywood, what are your thoughts on that?
Raph, do you want to go first, or?
No, I think that's your department, T.
That's in the back.
Well, I think Nollywood is doing fantastic as per the level of funding that is available to them and the nature of the industry here, because it's just, in my opinion, in its infancy, and I feel compared to giants and behemoths like Hollywood, I mean, they have a very long way to go, but they're improving significantly. I mean, I see some local films and I'm like, what? I mean, the production quality is improving significantly. And I think with the budgets that most of these films have and the pressure that they have, unlike Hollywood, where intellectual property protection is mega, intellectual property protection in Nigeria is almost non-existent. So everybody wants to quickly make the film, quickly make some money back, and before pirates get a hand on their movie and stuff like that. So I think they have a long way to go, but I think the most important challenge is copyright protection. I think by the time the government takes copyright protection seriously, we'll see more investment going in. And I think we'll see a lot more improvement right because of that.
Oops, we're losing you there.
Strong. People are afraid to put so much money into it.
Okay, I think we did catch the tail end of that. The other question is, for each of you, what was one, I mean, you've talked about, many memorable moments, but one that stands out in your mind. Let's go with you first, Raph.
Right. Okay. Yeah, there was a lot. For me, actually, being from the UK, the Africa leg of the trip, so the first, couple of weeks for me was the best, because it was new experiences, just overwhelming emotions. And yeah, it was fantastic for me to see some of West Africa. And like Toyin was saying earlier on in this discussion, just the experience of traveling overland through these countries, you just can't get that kind of experience in any other way. And, you know, particularly riding motorbikes, you know, being in a car is one thing, but riding a motorbike, you are connected so much more to the landscape, to the people, to the experiences. So that was definitely something I'll never forget. Absolutely.
Raha?
Well, I wasn't on the trip, but some of my sort of behind the scenes things got very interesting, where I was working quite hard to try to extend their visa in Europe. And I think one of my conversations where I really thought, wow, this is getting really interesting, was when I was talking to the lawyer for the Dubai royal family, whose friend was with the Italian ambassador to Nigeria. And we were having this conversation to see how we can get them to extend their visa, and if they do this, if they do that. So that was pretty memorable moment for me. Yeah.
Did that involve any?
We didn't get to
that
it in the end,
stage.
but I just felt like this is getting really interesting.
I don't think the budget would have allowed that.
Right.
With you, Toyin?
I think for me, the most memorable day, believe it or not, was the very first day. And I think just seeing Raph and our friends, our families, and the former president of Nigeria, Olusegun Obasanjo, waving us off, I will never forget that. I actually said to myself, we're actually doing this? Hold on a second. We're actually doing this?
Out of body experience. Yes.
I would never forget that. I'll never forget that.
Okay. Any upcoming projects? I let you pop out the bag in the beginning.
No, it's fine. But that's a movie. It's different from motorcycles. It involves like a motorcycle story. But to tell you the truth, I have been thinking again and again on what we could do with Raph and Raha and the Tanglewood team. I would never forget that experience. It was one of the best moments of my life. The friendships we struck with Raph and his family and Raha, and I've been thinking, just motorbikes. I love motorbikes. I love motorbike adventure. So in 2018, myself and a friend rode from here to the Isle of Man to see the TT races, but we didn't film it. We basically had our cameras, phone camera. It was crappy. And honestly, I would love to do that with Raph someday. We're planning to do it again in 2021, but let's see what happens.
Maybe you get into Mauritania this time.
Maybe.
Right.
Maybe. No, we actually gone into Mauritania this time, Raha. We went through a different border, and we got into Mauritania. But that wasn't where the challenge was. I took ill in Mauritania, and it was very, very bad. But I think because this is easier, because this is just Nigeria through West Africa and then through Europe into London and the Isle of Man, it's much, much easier. I don't know whether you've been to the Isle of Man, TT, Raph, but I think it's an experience that is
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, this is a race that takes place on an island just off of England, just off the coastline, and it's a very famous motorbike race that Toyin's been wanting to visit for many years, and he finally achieved that dream in recent years. Yeah.
Yeah, and I would love to do it. I'd love to do it the way we did out of Nigeria. That would be epic.
Yes.
So let's see.
Yeah, that was, I told Toyin that I was a biker's girl when I was younger. So when I saw that documentary, I almost lost my mind. And I talked to Toyin, and I said, what? I didn't even know what to say. And then we connected. When was this? 2016? And
yeah, 2016, yeah.
Whatever he does around bikes, I'm just like, ooh, I need to see. So I knew at some point, because of what we do, we definitely had to show this. And I like the fact that it wasn't just about riding the bike. There was a social message.
Yeah.
There were things you did along the way. There were challenges. You dealt with the challenges. You spoke about the challenges. There's so much to learn from this documentary. That's what I found. I mean, it's just, yeah, it's brilliant. And I hope you guys can get together again and do something. So last thing is, any closing inspiring words for upcoming creatives? Let's start with you, Toyin, before the Wi-Fi goes. Quick.
I would just say, if you have a dream, chase it down until you do it. And that's it. Because somebody said to me one time, I want to die just with a smile on my face, thinking about the crazy things I did with my life. Yeah. And I think that's the way we should go out.
With a smile on our faces.
With a smile on our faces, yeah.
Raha?
Mine would be, I think, don't wait for perfection. So don't wait for everything to be set up before you set off, Start something and then the momentum will come,
That's a good one.
I definitely believe in that. Yeah.
Mine would be slightly taking your question at a different slant, but the whole theme of this film was to encourage people to travel and to travel overland through countries and share different experiences. And so my message would be, get out there and see the world and travel and broaden your horizons, and you'll never regret it.
After COVID, though, yeah.
After the global pandemic, of course.
I definitely have to ask this question, because somebody asked this. I mean, Toyin, I know you're in Nigeria. There's the NSAS movement going on. Just, not trying to get political, because if we start talking about Nigeria, we're going to be here till next year, because there's so many problems, so many. But we're brilliant people, do brilliant things. Whenever we go anywhere else, we do wonderful things. What are your thoughts about what's going on? Because it seems like something different is going on right now.
I think all the pain and the frustration that people have faced, especially the young people, is coming to the surface now. And they don't want to be silent anymore. We are a cultural people where they're like, respect your elders. And these guys have come to the point where they're like, respecting our elders isn't getting us anywhere. We want to be heard. And I respect it. And I feel that, this is my personal opinion, that leadership has failed Nigerians decade after decade. We have a lot of very brilliant people in this country, very, very brilliant. And then I see that they're not given the opportunity to lead. Brilliant people should be given a voice. They should be given the opportunity to lead. Every single time I see people who represent us, I feel sad, because I know there are better people who could do better jobs. So maybe I know that these guys are going to fight back. I know they're not going to want to leave, because you don't take a bone from a dog very easy. But I think right now they will know it's no longer the status quo. And I think we need to sit back now and say, this is an opportunity for us to reset. I think in this internet age where young people are so alert, where the world is a global village. I mean, you have people in Nigeria writing codes, you have people in Nigeria young people doing amazing stuff on the internet. They don't understand where somebody in his 60s and 70s who doesn't really understand where the world is going is leading them. And I think it's very frustrating. I mean, to Mariah, I had a friend of mine who used to say to me, somebody on a leadership level of 8 will find it extremely frustrating to follow somebody on a leadership level of 3 or 4.
Wow.
These guys are frustrated, feel like they're not being led anywhere. And the total collapse in the system, the hospital systems are failing, education system is failing, so many things are failing. Why don't you give other people the opportunity to do it, who have the intelligence and the knowledge and the understanding and the passion to do it? So I think all that frustration is coming. If you look at the videos I post on my timeline when I travel across Nigeria, and I did one today, I did a few videos today, our infrastructure is collapsing, and it's not, it's frustrating. So I feel that these young people want to speak because they see the world. I mean, they watch the world. Literally. They see the world. You understand? So they don't understand why, with all that is going on and resources in the country, everything around them is the way that it is. And that's what they're frustrated with, and I think we should listen. I think we should listen. And I think the guys who've been in power all these years and don't want to leave should listen.
I think one thing that's, go ahead, Chandra, go ahead.
Yeah,
please.
I just wanted to encourage Toyin, you really should do TED Talks, and you should use that beautiful footage from the motorbikes and the water. I mean, the water on the side of you guys, you know, you are going to be the inspiration and the motivator for young people to see past their limitations. And like Raha was saying, to not worry about the perfections and just do it. I mean, the combination of the pursuit, but also the nature and the water. I mean, it was just everything you need to be the inspiration, to be the person to give them that hope and that future. So be encouraged.
Wow, well said, Chandra. Yeah. All I wanted to say was that what has struck me about this movement is what you said, Toyin, about culturally, we respect our elders. You know, to call an old man, I mean, now they're calling the president all sorts of names, and that is so out of character for young Nigerians. And for me, when I heard that, I was like, that's it. These young, they are done. They're like, you old folks, stay at home, don't protest with us. We got this. And you've messed with the, you know, wrong generation. So I feel the passion, and I pray this is a true moment of change. And I think I need to end there, because if not,
yeah. Let me say one quick.
That's
like,
I'm
gonna move on to Iran soon.
Don't get us. When we talk about Nigeria, it's like we can't stop.
Yeah, I just want to say, what frustrates me is that a country as large as Nigeria and as popular as Nigeria does not have one inspirational political figure. In my opinion, that's sadness. I mean, you look at Mandela. When Mandela died, most of the presidents of the world gathered in South Africa.
Yeah.
I'm saying to myself, it was because of how inspirational this man was, how sacrificial his life was. The day that you know, somebody like him passed, everybody came. Mother Teresa. I mean, the day this woman passed, the world stood still. And I'm saying to myself, with all the resources of this country, with all the intelligent people we have in this country, we don't have one figure that everybody goes to that channel to say, I want to listen to this guy today. I'm not talking about religious leaders now and stuff and all their inspirational messages. No, I'm talking about a political figure that can galvanize us. There's not one, not one. And I think that worries me, because, I mean, it's something that I wish we would have, like a few inspirational leaders in Nigeria who everybody just wants to listen to these guys. And hopefully maybe out of this movement, something like that will be born.
Okay, I'm just going to say one thing, and you know, what? No, the reason why I want to say this, is because I've been saying this for quite a while on my Instagram in particular, that one of my tactics now is I'm following young Nigerian leaders that are very vocal. And I've picked out a few, and I've been following them for the last, like, I would say last 8 years. And they are, the younger generation has a group of leaders. It's now for them to be more visible. So I just want to put that out there, and I'm going to end that right there. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, Raph. Thank you very much, Raha. Chandra, any closing words? Thank you very much, Toyin. Any closing words, inspirational words?
Just keep creating beautiful films, and keep creating beautiful films around amazing destinations on motorbikes. There's so many more stories for you all to tell in that same format. Yes.
Yes, and I'm just going to say some closing words. So thank you very much for coming. Thank you to the people that joined us online. This is the last in the Cinema for the Culture series for this year. And we are looking to launch the African Film Festival Atlanta, which is going to be a mini version of the festival that we had planned for earlier this year, but because of COVID, we had to make some changes. The festival is scheduled November 20th to 22nd. We're going to be showing about 6 feature films from across Africa and its diaspora. So please follow us on all social media platforms at African Film Arts. And for more information on all that we do, you can go to our website, africanfilmartsfoundation.org. Thank you very much again for coming. This is going to be recorded, and we'll send you out the link once we download it. Thank you very much. Stay safe, everybody.
Wow. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
All
Bye.
right, thanks. Bye.